And welcome to TSPN. This is Supervisor Richard Forster. I'm going to give you a quick update of our meeting agenda items for Tuesday, November 23rd. And then in our second two segments, we're going to be talking to the Amador County Veteran Services Officer, Floyd Martin. So starting off the meeting on November 23rd, Board of Supervisors, 8:30 closed session, 9 o'clock open session at the County Administrative Center on Court Street. The Recorder's Office will make a decision as to which way to go. There's two options here. Sheldon Johnson, our clerk recorder, has made the decision that he's going to step down at the end of the year. With that, he is recommending his chief deputy, Kim Grady, to replace him in that position. That would mean she would fill the rest of his term and then choose to either go back to her old position or run for the position on the ballot. I think it's her intention, if she fills that position, to run for it. So that is one option the board can choose. The other option is to combine departments. This is an opportune time to do it. The department that was looked at for combination here was the assessor's department, since they are involved with the records portion. The harder part for Jim Rooney would be the elections portion of how to administer that. So he would have to keep pretty much all of the staff on to do that are in elections. He would also have to keep all the staff on in the Recorder's Office. That being the question, how much money would we save if we combine versus Kim Grady taking the position? It looks like the total savings to the county, if Miss Grady were to fill the position, would be about $64,000. She would get the salary of the clerk recorder, but the salary savings would come from her position. On the other hand, if Mr. Rooney's department was combined with the clerk recorder, it would save about $84,000 a year because of the salary differentials that are involved. Problem's going to be is our CAO, Chuck Eiley, has said that it may be such an increase in workload for our assessor, Jim Rooney, that he may have to hire another person in his office. If that was the case, our CAO has indicated he would not recommend going that direction. If we had a crystal ball, we'd know how to handle all this, but we don't. So we're just going to have to make the best decision possible. Next item up on the agenda is the Amador County Chamber of Commerce. They're coming in asking for an allocation of $25,000. This would be $5,000 more than they received in the previous budget cycle. I know this is not budgeted in our current budget, so it would have to come out of either reserves or contingency. Mark Borchin, the Amador County Chamber of Commerce president, has provided a report to the board of chamber activities and a budget of how they have spent their money. There's a couple items I have questions on the budget. It shows increases in different areas, but particularly in one area that we need to just weigh how much money is being spent in different areas, why the increases are taking place. We know some of it is staff related, so really there's only one or two areas I have questions there. Decision is for the board on an ongoing decision is, should we budget this money on an ongoing basis for the chamber, for Amador Council on Tourism? Big dollar issues, not in the scheme of the whole budget, but you know, every dollar we spend is a dollar that is not going to employees. It's a dollar that's not going out there for other activities, but it is a money that's going to support businesses in the community through the Chamber of Commerce and through ACT supporting tourism. It does help that Measure Q passed on the transient occupancy tax, and that money will go into the Amador Council on Tourism per the pledge from the Board of Supervisors. So we will take on the chamber issue on Tuesday. The Environmental Health Department has come in and they're looking at a new fee schedule. This is not the overall fee schedule for the department. It's only certain areas. At this time, most of those areas are being driven by state law. State law is requiring environmental health to go out and do more inspections. Because of that, the costs are going up for the department. And those areas primarily are in new construction and development projects, body art, above ground petroleum storage, and food facilities. So all of those areas have been affected by recent legislation that has been passed. Our legislature in Sacramento is very good at passing new laws and regulations, so our departments have to deal with that. That's why we're addressing these areas. I'm sure the board will scrutinize this. It's already run through our land use committee, and it's run through the county administrative committee. Now it will go to the full board for more scrutiny. Now, we don't like increasing fees to businesses, in particular in this environment. But at some point, you got to recover your costs out there when the state keeps hammering you with new regulations. We'll also look at a new supervisors meeting schedule for 2013. Going to be very similar to the 2012 schedule that we have, 2012-13 schedule that we have. So it should be very similar, except for December. I think we're cutting back to one meeting. We have a couple of public hearings. One of them is just a lot line adjustment. The two bigger ones that are coming up are from the Planning Department with appeals to decisions of the Planning Commission. One of them involves property that is on Latrobe Road, and this is a property that was recently sold. Now they want to split it. Within that property is the old Arroyo Ditch. Mr. Eldon Waite is appealing the decision of the Planning Commission, feeling that the Arroyo Ditch would be impacted. Our Planning Department feels it will be protected because of riparian rights that are in place. Reading over the documents last night, and I have to read them again and probably again after that and ask some questions to our Planning Department, but it does appear that there needs to be firmer language in place as a condition to protect the rights of those property owners so that that ditch is not plowed over and people don't lose that right forever to have water conveyed in that ditch system. The other appeal is on the Irish Hell Quarry and on their request to expand their project, the depth of mining, and the decision to affect the riparian zone within that area. They want to decrease the riparian zone. I've taken a tour of the site as well as some of the other supervisors. I know the appellants have been offered the opportunity to take tours there. There is still a concern that primarily with the mining, that if they go another 10 to 15 feet deeper, that it's going to affect the underground flow of water, and that will affect the wells that are downstream. The Planning Commission agreed with the proponents of the project that it would not affect the wells downstream because of the flows that would remain constant. You know, they're my constituents in that area, and I agree with them that you need to look at this area pretty heavily. That's all the time I have. We're going to go to a quick break. We're going to be right back with Floyd Martin.
You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN.